Hey, friend. So glad to have you. Dungeons and Dragons will begin in just a moment. Bizard, you are running your hand along the stage, and you feel an inscription of sorts. You direct your attention away from the children and down to this, and you see symbols similar to the ones that you saw along the path.
Okay.
But even more so, like, there is a hint of recognition that comes to you from your schooling. You run your hand along this one, and then you notice that there are several more along the stage. If you can roll Arcana or History.
I believe it will be Arcana. Oh, that's a natural 1.
Oh my god.
I'm really fucking up in the magic area today.
Everyone's very confused.
These are really
It's the
difficult
fate.
to read. I'm having a hard time. So I'm going to take a bottle of ink and I'm going to pour it in to fill in the worn out sigils and runes so that they're clearer and easier to read.
I like that. Yeah. Do that. And Bonwyn and Cav, you see Bizard do this, like pouring ink onto the stage and like pulling out a scrap of parchment. So that brings your attention over there as well. And you see that he's pouring it into these symbols along the stage. Allow you to, now that everybody's kind of crowded around looking, allow you to roll again with this new version of the same symbol.
Thank you, Russ.
Yeah.
And what are we rolling?
Arcana or History.
Yeah,
And
could I also roll? Like, I would have
roll. Yeah.
I would have done, like research into even not understanding it, but just for like artistic flourishes on things,
Sure.
13.
13.
I got a 25 this time.
Oh,
that's
so
okay.
much better. Thank God for
That
Bizard.
ink really helped.
The ink has brought it all together.
Woo.
So you do that, and you're flipping this over, and the two of you are, Bonwyn and Cav, are looking at them like, yeah, we know what this is. You don't know what this is. The first one, you pick up the symbol, and on the paper, it immediately comes to you. The symbol represents a movement.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a class that, you said that dance wasn't a particularly strong one, but maybe it's one you kind of like nodded off through and didn't quite pay attention. But this movement says or is interpreted as step forward. With that context, you look at the next few. The next one says spin. The next one says bow. The fourth one says clap. However, one section, as you're looking between these, one section of the dance floor is slightly cracked. And you go over and make an investigation roll at that.
12.
You pick away at this crack in there, and it reveals another inscription hidden beneath. And the inscription says, "Only the banjo man may end the song."
So are these kids doing this step forward, spin, bow, clap move?
They are doing step forward, spin, bow, clap, and then they are stumbling over the final step.
Gotcha.
Dungeons and Dragons is a D&D actual play podcast, and I'm your dungeon master, Russ Moore, he, him. Also with me today is Amy Moore as Alydin, she, her.
I grab it, and I pull him over me, and I flip him over.
Carla Maxted as Bonwyn Everbane, she, her.
We're very weak. We don't know anything.
Tom Laird as Kavlaran Goldweave, he, him.
Which unfortunately is actually radiant damage, but that's all right.
And Kyle Classett as Bizard the Wizard, he, him.
Sorry, I've never fucked up this bad at dancing, y'all.
Dungeons and Dragons is a Patreon-supported podcast, and it wouldn't be around if it wasn't for fine patrons just like you. Well, you can sign up today at patreon.com/dumbdragoncast, get a 7-day free trial, and access to a whole bunch of additional adventures that are ready and waiting for you. And now, fuck it, let's play! And while you think on that, we're going to cut back to your room, Alydin. You're staring at yourself in the mirror with this music box that you've released the mechanism on. The mechanism, when you turned it backwards, it distorted into an eerie whisper that repeated the phrase, "Not real, not real, not real, not real." You've released it and the song continues forward again.
Well, I'm done with this business. So Alydin is going to strip the bed, tie the sheets into knots, carefully open the window, and throw out the
music box. Fuck that thing.
Right? Fucking thing's going first. And throw out the makeshift rope.
Okay.
Tied it to like
the bedpost,
foot of the bed frame or something like that. Yeah. But I don't go down it. You said that there was a closet?
I said there was a dresser.
A dresser. I go under the bed.
Okay.
And then I get out from under the bed and realize I have to make a big noise.
Or you'll just be waiting by yourself in a dark space again.
And now I'm just
That's
under
where
a
Alydin
bed.
is at home, yeah.
And it's cold because I've opened the window. I'm gonna. Oh, I need to make them think that I really went out there. Alydin throws her bucket out the window.
It will be convincing, though.
Make sure that it hits the roof. Like it doesn't clear it. I'm not like into the field.
It's in the middle of the field. Son of a
Fucking then, Uncle Rico's that bucket over those mountains.
And then I quickly hide under the bed.
You throw the bucket and it goes over the edge of the roof and you hear it hit like a porch post or a banister or something down below. Like you hear it strike wood and clatter. The contents of inside the bucket rattle together. And you hear like the sheet pulling against the window frame. The conversation you hear silenced downstairs, like it stops. And then you hear some slow footsteps move towards where the sound came, to the front door. You hear creak as the door opens and a few steps out onto the porch.
I'm waiting because I only heard one set of footsteps. There are two creepy not parents in this house, and I'm hoping they both go look for me.
You hear the storm door close at the front and a few steps, muffled steps out on the front porch. And then you hear the heels again of your mother. And they're coming up the stairs. They come up the stairs and round the mid-landing and come up again. And you hear slow footsteps and a soft voice that calls out, "Alydin, is everything okay in there?"
I do not respond. I'm holding my breath. I'm out that window.
Roll stealth.
How about a 19?
Yeah, you did.
You hear the handle on the door turn and then light creak of the hinges and a few steps come in. The woman pauses in the room and she calls out again, "Alydin, are you playing hide and seek?" She slowly walks over to the window. She pokes her head out the window.
Sorry, a lot of visual comedy going on right now.
Kyle's just miming what I'm thinking and just like, I just push her out the window. But I don't think, like, they haven't actually done anything to hurt me. It's just weird. And so I don't think I'm ready to murder a person.
Strong urge for defenestration.
A lot of roll for self-control. No, I stay hidden.
A woman's still looking out the window. You can't see her. You can see her feet. Now, you're tucked as far to the wall as you can. You can see her feet. She's standing by the window, and she's there for what is a good long moment. And then from outside, you hear this low warping note that feels like it's being carried on the wind. Then the woman pulls her head back inside and pulls the sheet back up. You hear your bucket kind of clanging as it's being dragged up and over. And then she pulls it back in and then closes the window. Says, Alydin, when you're done playing your game, come down for dinner, okay? And she walks back out your room, back downstairs, and you hear the door open downstairs. The man come back in.
Damn it.
Ugh.
As you hear the door latch shut and the footsteps begin to move back downstairs, you hear the clattering of plates being set around a table. Then the the low conversation starts back up. You can't make it out.
Okay, that didn't work. Alydin is gonna play along. She goes into her dresser. She finds clothes. She changes into whatever pretty dress is in there. Very out of character. And she opens her door and skips downstairs. What's for dinner?
We'll back up a little bit. You open your door and with your dress on, and you immediately hear the conversation downstairs stop. You walk downstairs and enter into the dining room area where there's another meal set. You don't know how long, like this is going back to like your hands, right? Like you don't know how long you've been here. Is this meal the same meal that was here when you got to this place, or have you been here for a long time? You don't know.
Do I feel hungry? I'm an orphan. I'm always hungry.
You're an orphan. You're always hungry. On the table, there is a roast in the center. There's some potatoes, and at each of the place settings, there is a bowl of soup. You sit down at the table, and you see all of this wonderful meal, and your mother reaches over and says, "Oh, I'm sorry we didn't find you in your game," and hands you this basket of rolls.
Oh, that's okay. I was just fooling around. You know, I'm such a good hider.
Oh, of course. You play those games so well. And she passes the roll down to your father, and you look down into the soup. Make I guess first, do you go to eat anything?
Player knowledge, because Amy is tired.
It's so tough.
I ate the first time, didn't I?
I believe so.
I think I did.
I think you did. I think you ate at least something. Yeah.
Because
it was a meal. You've been gone for who knows how long.
Yeah. I'm a
you
starving
did eat,
orphan.
yeah.
I ate. Okay.
Yeah. I remember you
Okay.
ate. Yeah, you ate quite well. Yeah.
If they were going to poison me, they probably would have already poisoned me. But I'm going to kind of like pick at my roll and drop the pieces of bread into the soup. Because I like them mushy, because I'm a fucking animal.
Sure. Yeah. You tear apart the roll and you drop it in.
I mean, you're just used to like day olds that you get your hands on, so
true.
it needs
Yeah.
it.
You drop the pieces into the soup, and like there's pleasant nothing conversation happening between your parents. You drop the pieces into the soup, and that bowl of soup begins reflecting a distorted version of your face. The surface, as the soup begins to settle at the bottom, begins to clear. And it begins showing a memory that is like rushes back to you. It shows you at the orphanage where you had grown up for the majority of your child life. And then as this memory comes flooding back to you, the image in the soup is gone. You're broken from that moment as the father figure who you pictured right beside you is now standing over you. And he's put a hand on your shoulder. He says, "Is everything all right, Alydin?"
Yeah, Dad, everything's fine.
And as he puts his hand on your shoulder and you look up at him,
I grab it and I pull him over me and I flip him over. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, go on.
As he
put his face in the soup and just drown him, just hold it in there.
I'm gonna waterboard my mom with the soup. And I'm gonna get all kinds of weird. I'm on cold meds. Things are getting weird.
As he puts his hand on your shoulder and asks you that question, you turn and look up at him. You begin to feel a weakening in your body, strength leaving your body. And he looks down at you and says, "Okay, that's okay. You just eat up, okay?" And he goes back and sits down at the table, and he himself begins slurping on the soup and eating the roll. You feel lightheaded and woozy.
I don't fucking touch the soup, but I eat the roll. What's left of the roll in my hand.
You begin to put the roll in your mouth, and you're looking between the parents. They're looking at you and smiling. And we'll cut back to the stage.
So much more than
Welcome to the middle, everybody.
The middle.
Hey there.
Hi there.
To be here. We just got out of our recording of The Adventures of, which you can now join us and watch from the backstage
live
over on Patreon. And while you're talking about all the great experience that everybody's having with that, I'm going to go and do the thing that I should have done a while ago, which...
Oh, yeah, we know what you're talking
Vamble
about.
away.
You know what, though?
Thing.
This was kind of like our trial time of doing this live record with our backstage. We got 2 backstage beauties. And maybe they can let us know how it went.
Hearts.
Cat put a heart.
Less than 3. Wow, that's harsh.
Oh no, the alligator ate the 3.
That's all I'm going to think about now every time I see that, Kyle.
Oh my goodness.
But if you want to hang out and do the backstage thing while we play live, you can go to patreon.com/dumbdragoncast. Anyone on the supporting producers tier and up is welcome to join us.
Kat says, much fun. Very wow.
That's
Very well.
That's a stellar
That's a ringing
review, if you ask me.
endorsement.
Yeah, get that goog hang, too. You can hang out.
But also, if you join us on Patreon, you get an episode dedicated to you.
Yeah.
You sure do.
Like today's
patron, who is the amazing, wonderful, fantastic, stupendous, intelligent,
I gotta keep track of this better.
creative
Jason Quinn!
Hey,
Jason
Quinn, thank you
Jason.
so much.
And I
it's
mean all
Jason
those things
Quinn.
that I said. I was
All those things are
vamping.
true.
Mhm.
Also, I think you look great in jeans. They really work for you.
Absolutely.
Way to
Yep.
go, Jason. Thanks
Rocking
for being
it.
here.
Way to do it.
Thanks, Jason. And thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight in the Adventures of, which you can go listen to over on Patreon, too. Like, you don't just have to join us for the record, but like there's 6 seasons of amazing, super fun stuff where we're now realizing that we
Are
do
we the
secretly
baddies?
love...
That's what we're realizing.
it's been my long con to make us the ultimate big bad in the end.
Oh, God.
Nah, we're fine.
Yeah.
you guys are all right.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you all for being here. We'll get you back to the episode. We love you so much. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to turn to Bonwyn and Cav and be like, okay, so he obviously didn't teach these kids the final move. And these kids don't understand. They learned the steps, but they don't understand why they're doing the steps. And, music and dance correlated with each other rhythmically. And in the song that brought all these kids here, it says, with music sweet, your steps he'll guide. So hopefully, following the rhythmic pulse of the music and filling in the steps, that's literally all I've got.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
So I'm going to hop on stage and I'm going to try to create my own move that fills in with the rhythm where these kids keep messing up.
Okay. You get up on stage and you step into formation with these children.
Mm-hmm.
Are all three of you doing it, or are you just letting Bizard handle this?
I feel like I'm going to see what he's doing.
Yeah, I want to see the move, and then I'll...
Okay.
See what the vibe is. Are we all going to freestyle our own move? Are we all going to try?
Yeah.
Right? It's so.
Okay. Get up and you get into position. You begin the steps that you've watched them. There's 4 steps. You've picked those up. And then roll me either a performance or dexterity.
Oh, performance, definitely. Okay, dice, go fuck yourself. That's a 9.
It was uneven. I mean, you trip? I don't know.
Yeah.
So slippery from all that ink. Oh.
Damn it.
You get up on stage and you do the 4 moves, and then you attempt a 5th move. Whatever you do causes you to stumble, along with the children. And then Bonwyn and Cav, you hear this now too. Bonwyn, you hear the creaking coming from the surrounding forest again. Bizard, as you're trying to find a new step, you keep attempting this, and the correlation clicks for the two of you off the stage as you're watching him. The more Bizard tries and fails, the louder this sound gets. And as you look back to him, and Cav, you're looking over at Bonwyn, you see like a parting, a bending of the trees as this nightmarish creature resembling a twisted marionette of roots and broken instruments, its limbs held aloft by invisible strings, and it begins moving out of the forest. And all 3 of you look over now as its joints creak like old wood, and its hollow chest cavity thrums with the haunting echoes of the banjo music that you've been hearing. This horror steps into the clearing and is making its way over to the stage. I'm going to get you to roll for initiative.
Sorry, I've never fucked up this bad at dancing, y'all.
Even on his worst day.
And these dice can go away for tonight.
Yeah,
that is a 5 on
are
initiative.
Sucking.
Get out of here.
14.
4.
Oh, jeez, guys.
Wow.
Why don't these guys do puzzles? I don't know.
I'm switching from green to orange.
Bonwyn, you're going to be up first. So the two, Bonwyn and Kavlaran, you are off the stage. Bizard, you are still on the stage. You can see, all 3 of you have seen this creature making its way towards you. It's not moving quickly, but it is moving directly towards you. And like the roots and its limbs seem like they can extend, and like the vines from trees are wrapping around itself. Like this entire thing, like its face looks like kind of like an ant from Lord of the Rings, but much more marionette. Like there's a movement to the jaw that's happening.
Great. I am going to pull out my flint and steel and light an arrow on fire and try and shoot it, 'cause wood.
Burn it up.
Sick.
Also, I have no weapon. I'm in no fight. Good. Bonwyn no do anything good. Level 2. Okay, but let's see. Oh, 19.
Nice.
19 will hit. Yes, yes, it will.
Excellent. So that's 5 damage. I don't know if you want to like give me a little something because of the fire.
You want to roll a d6 worth of fire damage.
Okay, that's a 3 for fire damage, and then because I hit, I can sneak attack it. I think, yeah. Oh. So that's an extra 5 damage. There's some real dry roots right in like the lung area.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to think of it as an ent because I love the ents. So
yeah, no, this is.
But as some other creepy tree creature.
Yeah. So you can call it a waltzing horror if you want to. It's not an
ent.
There we go.
Yeah, your arrow looses and sticks into the chest of this, and you hear like this discordant, like strings snapping as it strikes in and lets out this low droning note that echoes out over all of you. You see where the arrow hit, like the flame is still alight. It doesn't appear that it's completely caught on all of the tree yet, but it is still alight and stuck into them.
Do the children, like, I'm going to look behind me, like, what are they doing?
They continue the dance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It cool. is this creature's turn, and he lets out this low note and then continues to move towards you. He's going to you who's just tried to hit him, Bonwyn, or just hit him, Bonwyn. He's going to reach out with his hand, and coming out of his hand are not only vines but these very thin strings of an instrument. He's going to try to ensnare you with this, so you can make a strength saving throw to try to avoid this.
Oh, 19.
19. All right.
I am a hardy dwarf.
Yeah. It reaches out for you, and you feel these things trying to wrap themselves around your hands and your feet. You manage to pull yourself free, and it releases itself. And it takes another few steps towards you and Cav. Bizard, you're still up on the stage. The children continue to dance. This creature has come out of the forest and is now attacking Bonwyn down off the stage. There's an arrow that's alight in its main body as well.
You said that plank that says the banjo man can only end the song is broken already?
Yes, I did. Benjamin. The floor was slightly cracked, and you pulled away at it, which revealed a hidden inscription beneath. Yeah.
I'm going to try to break the whole idea of like what I know to be incantations or spells, and I'm going to try to rip the entire board out just to remove that part of the equation.
Okay, cool. Make a strength check.
That's a 14.
You break away from the group of children as they stumble on that last step and run over to the board itself. And you're pulling at it, and the nails are prying themselves free. And as you're doing that, the creature before you, like, you've gotten quite close to it now. The creature like turns and acknowledges you. As you do manage to pull this board up and out, it splinters and breaks, but yeah, you've pulled the majority of it away. There are a few little pieces closer to the nails.
Okay. I'm going to take the inscribed part that I ripped off and just throw it off away from the stage. Okay. I assume that'll be my action. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my scimitar and start up a blade song. Just the humming of my scimitar as it spins, creating its own little music to counter the music going on.
Amazing. Okay.
And I'll move up to Bonwyn and Cav and be in the thick of it with them.
Got it. That brings us to Cav.
All right. Cav is going to have his warhammer drawn and rush forward and take a swing at this horrible tree banjo monster.
Okay.
Unless it's a terrible idea, but we're doing it anyway.
Gotta do it.
We got to do something, right?
Yep.
All right, that is a 19 to hit.
Oh, yeah, 19's going to hit.
Switching to the orange dice is paying off,
Drop that bitch down.
Excellent.
And that is 7 points of crushing damage, bludgeoning
I'm over
damage.
here so jealous. Like, I'm fighting some sort of stupid mind problem, and you guys get to punch and hit stuff.
Absolutely.
You crack into like the leg of this creature, and you hear like as if you took your hammer to like the back of a guitar. Like that's the sound that comes out of it, and then the splintering wood follows quickly after that. It lets out this thunderous scream, for lack of a better term, as you do that.
Okay.
Anything else you can or would like to do?
I could probably do more, but I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay. Look, after you've torn up the board, the children continue to stumble on that last step. But now that you've removed that board from the stage, you turn and you look, and the children continue to stumble for a few more paces, but then they start to correct themselves as the music continues. However, instead of stumbling, they hit that beat in the music and they freeze. And then they continue on with the dance. So the pattern has changed, but there's still a beat in the music that's missing. Bonwyn.
Drop that beat.
I guess. Well, it's all up on me now.
Yes, yeah. The three of you are basically right up on it.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm going to switch to my short sword. Better. Oh my god. And close range, and that is a nat 1.
That's my girl.
Is going out the
Okay.
window. No, I'm just kidding. But it's going away.
Yeah. Throw it away in the
Certainly.
bucket.
That's right.
You try and swing out with your short sword, and it ends up getting like wrapped up in the vines and branches of one of its arms. And because it's a nat 1, you feel the same pressure around your wrists that you felt when it first tried to attack you, but this time it latches on. So along one of your wrists and one of your legs, you feel these strings now attached to you. So you are grappled for all intents and purposes, but you still have, is Bonwyn left or right-handed?
Oh, I don't know. I guess right? I had not said.
So your right hand and right leg are both bound. You still have your left. Anything else you would like to do?
I don't think
Okay.
there's anything else I can
Swear
do.
profusely.
You are grappled, and you begin to feel an urge to move. Like this, you now feel the strings pulling up on that side of your body, and it's going to try and grab the other side. You can make a strength saving throw to save yourself from this.
17.
So it tries to latch onto the other side. Your right side, however, continues to starts to dance uncontrollably, which is throwing you off balance.
So it's puppet mastering you.
It's trying to, it's trying to puppet master you. It's going to, now that it's up close to everybody, it's going to swing down at you, Bizard, and try and strike you. That's going to be a 15 to hit.
No, sir.
Okay. It swings down and it like hits the ground beside you, and you hear this thunderous echo throughout this space. Ground is turned up underneath you. Like if this, you could tell if this thing had hit you, it would have knocked the wind out of you pretty hard. Which after that happens, his arm is crushed into the ground, and you see Bonwyn trying to fight off half of what's happening. It's your turn now.
This is very dangerous, and we need to move quickly. So I'm going to use my action to cast haste on myself, giving myself a secondary action, which I'm going to use that to attack the vines that are holding Bonwyn.
Okay.
So I'm going to make attack against each vine, if that's
Yep.
possible, or
Yep.
against the creature, however it works out.
Yeah, I think, based on proximity, like you could slice down through both of them. But yeah, as long as you hit, you should be good.
That's a 17 on the first attack and a 16 on the second.
Both of those will hit.
All right, 1d6 plus 2. That is 8 damage on the first attack and 6 damage on the second.
Oof. Good hit. Same echoing string breaks happen, and Bonwyn, you quickly find yourself released and free from the need to move as the way you were. But because your balance was thrown off, you are now prone at the foot of this monster.
Makes sense.
Kavlaran.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of things happening.
A lot going on. All right, and if I remember correctly, Russ, our characters don't really know shit yet.
Yeah. We're very weak. We don't know anything.
Yeah. It's an accurate description of our characters.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair.
We don't know shit.
Yeah, well, what... Is there shit in particular that you were hoping to know?
No, I just reminding myself that he doesn't really know the things that he could do with his class if given the training.
Yeah, I mean you've been in battle already, so you did pull some of your abilities out. I think you used... What did you use? Did you use a spectral weapon, or do you have a spectral weapon?
I don't have a spectral weapon.
You did something because you saw Christina's character.
Maybe a sacred flame?
Yeah, maybe a sacred flame. Yeah.
Flame would be great in this situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you did pull some paladin or some cleric type feature out that we didn't really get into, but it was after she had done hers and then you did yours. Yeah.
I'm assuming it would have been spectral flame.
Yeah,
that makes sense to me.
Now that you say that, I think that's what it was.
Yeah. And seeing the fucking kind of shit that's going on with this weird tree thing, Cav tries to call down that spectral flame.
Okay. Describe to me what that looks like.
Cav kind of raises his warhammer a little bit and then points it at the tree Banjo Man monster.
Yep.
And a crack of really bright, not quite lightning, but flame. It's got a whole lot going on. Kind of comes down from the sky on top of this guy.
Okay.
Which unfortunately is actually radiant damage, but that's all right.
That's fine. Yeah.
You need to do a dex save.
Oh, that's a nat 1. Any big pluses? 4. So that's a max 5.
Okay. Well, that is gonna hit you.
How can it have a +4 to dex? It's a giant tree monster. That seems unfair.
It's a giant instrument tree monster.
Right,
okay.
right. You're right.
All right. So you'll take 5 points of radiant damage.
39
from the sky.
And that's amazing. That comes down and although it's not flame, it does sear into this creature. And one thing we missed on your turn, Bonwyn, was additional fire damage because it is now a light from that position. So if you want to roll me a d6 on that as well.
6.
Oh, shit. Okay, cool beans. The flames are building and smoke is billowing through and out of this creature's mouth now. And we go back to the children, and you see, all of you have been kind of clocking them out of the corner of your eye, seeing if anything changes. And you see that same pattern. They are no longer stumbling. They are still continuing to dance, but there is that pause in the dance that they are not resolving still.
Have they become any more corporeal, or they're still just... Okay.
Still, everything is still the same for all intents and purposes. And we will go to Bonwyn.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
Okay, well, really all I can do is just try again with that short sword. That is a 25 to hit.
Yes, it will.
So that is 7 piercing damage, and then I'll do the fire damage for this turn. And that's a 6 again. Love
Nice.
these dice. Mwah. Oh, and because I hit, sneak attack.
Yeah.
Which is an extra 2.
That's okay. Limbs and strings and vines are beginning to fall off of this creature. Like it's falling to its knees. The flames are engulfing it now. Roll me another extra d6 of fire damage.
5.
The flames now moving across its body and up over its head, like this discordant tune and melody begins fracturing itself out of this creature as it falls to its knees and splinters. You hear crackles and pops of the wood as it falls to the ground at your feet. There's this echoing musicality that happens, and as the banjo music that's coming from the chest of this creature begins to fade, you look back at the children who are slowing their dance. But then there's a surge of music that happens, and it begins to play faster, and the children begin to dance faster, still missing that beat, but it continues to pick up pace. The monster appears to be defeated, but whatever is controlling these children is not resolved.
Well, with my super speediness, I was going to go over and use 4 attacks to attack the other 4 planks that dictate their movement. Just go ahead and take those out.
Quickly, you hop up onto the stage, and it's you don't need to roll damage. We can just say you go up and you hit the planks. You destroy the symbols as they exist there, and you see their movements as they are moving faster. They begin to miss the steps that you are destroying, and they begin to, rather than stop on the steps, they begin to walk in the circle that they are creating this dance for. As the dance stops, they begin to move around you, and they all turn and look at you, their hollow eyes staring down at you. And in one voice, they all say, "He waits for you at the hollow." And the mist that engulfs this space begins to part, and it reveals on the far side of this clearing that you catch your eye a forest path that leads out of this clearing. As this mist dissipates, and the children before you become part of the mist and follow out into the forest. Dumbgeons and Dragons, Season 4, Episode 17, starring Amy Moore as Alydin, Carla Maxted as Bonwyn Everbane, Tom Laird as Kavlaran Goldweave, Kyle Classett as Bizard the Wizard, and Russ Moore as your Dungeon Master. Dialogue editing and sound design of today's episode is by Russ Moore. Our community manager is Jessica Babiak. Music is from Epidemic Sound, and sound effects are from Epidemic Sound and Boom Library. Our amazing cover art is by Matt Garbutt. And we'd like to say a huge thank you to our supporting producers, including Gabriel Lynch, Jessica Babiak, Kat Waterflame, Jacob Madden, Ongeron Kiersen, Perry Mady, Old School Gamer D, Craig Zeiss, and L.A. Branton. We'd love for you to join us over on patreon.com/dumbdragoncast, where there's so many amazing bonus episodes, and now we're opening up the backstage of our actual records. Join us today. Hey, you have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Hope to see you over there.
What's for dinner? And she's going through puberty, obviously.
Do you want to give me another what's for dinner?
What's for dinner? That's okay. That's okay. You try.
Dumbgeons and Dragons is a Dumb Dragons production.